Hi class, this is the best practices video for the motivation module. There's a lot of good content in this module, and it was a busy module, as you can see here with all the questions we had to go through. There were a lot of good posts again for this module, and let me go through some of the best practices. This one here, this is Caitlin from BYP. Nice job, Caitlin. Notice how she has an introduction. She gets into her um, behavioral interview question. She's clearly formatted it using STAR, and there's enough substance there to tell what's going on. She goes through the challenges for the IDC West, and she uses diet, pulls in concepts from the text, places them in bold, which was done really nice, and gets down to important term or concept. Same thing, uses bold really well to bring him out. In question 4, she goes through the each example using the theory to explain the example, and she lists her SMART goals and explains how they meet that criteria. So, nice job, Caitlin. The other best practice here, this one is Suzanne from Team 1. Nice job, Suzanne. Um, Same thing, she starts with an introduction. She gets into her behavioral interview question. It's clearly marked using STAR. She gets into her mission with IDC West and works her way through that. You can see how easy it is to follow using a diet to format everything. Her important concept, and she has that in all in caps, so it stands out. And then she gets into question 4, and she uses the terms from the theory to illustrate the example in the same way um, with the example B, and then with example C, she lists her her goals and talks about how they're meet the SMART criteria, and then she ends with a conclusion. So, nice job, Suzanne. For our teams, best practices for teams. This is BYP. Nice job, BYP. What I like the most about this is they wrote it from a team perspective, and they summarize themes. Notice that when they get into interview questions, each of us answered, and so they start to talk about what was similar, what was different, and how they answered the question. The same way they get down and they run through their scenario, and they summarize that. They use diet to format that. When they get their important term or concept, they summarize themes again from the team, and then when they get into the examples, they use the terms of the theory to illustrate the examples, um, and same way they even kind of did a theme summary on their example C. So BYP did a nice job. This next one here is, this comes from Splash. Nice job, Splash. Same approach. Notice that in all of our situations, they're beginning to look across all the individual posts and what was the same, what was different. Um, then they go into IDC West and kind of do a summary on IDC West, and important term or concept, same thing. They get down and they look for what was similar, what was different. So they're summarizing themes, and they get into their examples, and they're still summarizing themes, which was good. They also notice how they reference the model. The same way they've referenced classical conditioning down here, so they're using the terms from the model. And then uh, they did a summarization of themes for example C, and then they ended with a conclusion. So nice job, Splash. These are the best practices for the motivation module. I hope you enjoyed this module. We had some good content for it. Thanks.